So let me ask you one last question to get back on this. So I still didn't that last question. So was this a shoot that Vince says that you guys are no longer friends? Or is he just?
Well, he did a podcast about it. So people are sending me clips and links and stuff.
Right.
He's part of the drama queen. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. He's so into this.
My funniest
and tries
thing
to act like he's not that into this. That he's like, this is like all like this is all he. Right. This is his whole life.
It's like this other day, my boy, his name is Baby Bash, right? And he'll always write like little things that are like so on point, and he'll say stuff like, "Don't you hate it when you call a liar out on his lies and he gets mad, even though everybody knows he's lying, right?" So it's almost like when you tell him you're not this, which he is, and then he denies it. It's kind of funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking. This next email is great. Konnan, you're going to get a kick out of this one. Okay. I think Joe should be very prepared for this, because I'm sure he's read it too. Next is from HKGR. Subject is, just listen to the latest episode of The Raven Effect, and as Bad News Barrett used to say, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Raven, I'm making a movie about menstrual cycles in the Victoria Age. It's a period piece. Joe, there he is. Joe, okay, this guy's email says, right. Joe, laugh. Wait, here's how the guy writes the email. Joe, laughing, quote, that's pretty good, continues laughing. Raven, a British reviewer said it's bloody brilliant. Joe, yes. Joe then repeats yes the second time, exactly like Ed McMahon used to do. Rich says, Robert, when you edit this, play the boo track. Joe, no, put the standing ovation in.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Okay,
you think that's funny, Joe?
Let me finish the email. Let me finish
that's
email.
funny to you?
Yeah, I think he's very funny.
But let's finish the email first. You would have thought Joe heard Eddie Murphy's ice cream bit for the first time the way he put Raven over it. Anyway, AEW bought in KENTA the other night, and wrestling Twitter acted like it was a big deal as Hogan turning heel. But my reaction was a literal, who? And then I saw a backstage segment AEW film with him and Kenny Omega. Yet another Japanese wrestler who doesn't speak English. How is this going to grow the product? For me, it might work if you had someone like Mr. Fuji managing to stable these wrestlers, but I'm not sure a character like that would fly in an age where the most vocal part of this fan base seems to be virtue signaling phonies who are constantly on the lookout for stuff to act outraged over. P.S. With the new Get My Go shirt, Mike Durbin now has 27 t-shirts.
What?
Is that accurate, Joe?
Yeah, I think so. He's got a load of shirts over there. He's got shirts for his show.
Why does he have 27 t-shirts?
He's got Get My Go. He's got shirts.
I guarantee. I would bet money that of the 27 designs, what do you think the over/under is, Konnan, for the amount of the designs?
I guarantee that out of the 27 designs, 25 of them nobody buys or very little. Just like Joe has 15, I'm sure like 12 of them nobody buys or very little. Right. It's ridiculous.
So let's get. If you did the demographic breakdown on your t-shirt sales,
did I ever do that?
Yeah.
No. But, I mean, when you sell a T-shirt, you get the receipt and the person's name and address and your email.
Let's answer the question.
But let's go back to this laughing at these jokes.
Right. Let's go to the first part.
They're not funny. Okay, that's number one. You don't have to laugh just because. Here's the thing.
He just laughed.
No. Let me tell you what it is.
You're scoffing at Raven's jokes.
And here's the other thing.
He thinks it's funny that you think Raven's jokes aren't funny.
No, here's the other thing, bro. Well, he grew up in Philly, so he's a humongous ECW mark.
Yeah.
So anytime Taz or anybody puts something, he always retweets it, like, yeah, ECW. So obviously he gets a big kick of being with Raven. But Raven says some funny stuff. That just was said was not funny and does not deserve a standing ovation, but does deserve this.
I like... that a lot of his stuff that he comes up with, it's like there's like wordplay. I don't know, and I like that kind of stuff. So maybe that's why it hits me that way.
Well, I just read this word. Let me ask you a question, Disco, because you always think I'm being a dick with Joe. Was this funny to you?
No.
All right, and he still laughs. It's ridiculous.
It
sounds kind of a fake laugh too. It doesn't sound like real, like you really mean a laugh. Kind of like
Joe Laugh Track Feeney. He's like a laugh track.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's like a laugh track. For Raven, though. Like, he didn't laugh at anything we say.
Right.
When was the last time Joe's laughed on this show? I want to put that out there. Anyways, listen to this, okay? You've heard the funny stuff that we say on this show, okay? Unintentionally funny. And the stuff compared to the comedy on Raven's show. And does Joe merit laughing at Raven's comedy and not laughing at the funny stuff we say. Is that I want to bring that up for discussion. So the second part of this question was Kenta appearing in AEW. Bro, did you see that Meltzer's thought the last 30 minutes of AEW last week was like this epic, like unbelievable, like with Kenta I don't know. It's like, whatever. It's like this crowd just has their product and they I don't know.
But he's kind of the leader of that. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't.
Of the fanboy clique.
Bro, I follow this show every single week, right?
Right.
I'm the Kenta appearing, for me, who's been watching this show for months, right? I have no clue what's going on. So it's like, there's a lot of people other like me.
Right, but their problem is they just cater to their hardcore base, right? And that's it. And it's like, bro, so how are you going to grow that? Is that good enough for you?
Care.
What you have right now, maybe they're just saying, all right, we're making enough money on merchandise and we got TV rights and we don't care.
Or they're just happy with the numbers.
Video game coming.
But why wouldn't you want to grow? And make more money and make more stars.
This just goes along with what we've said about Tony Khan and how he was that guy that fantasy booked his whole life. He had notebooks full of shit, probably played the simulation games, whatever. And so in the fantasy book in his head is like thinking of Kenta as this huge star from Japan that he probably watched and tape traded and all this. And for the fans, I think it's the fact that Kenta came over. He wrestled for NXT and WWE briefly. And he was beset by injuries.
Let me tell you what the problem is, Joe. When you cater to your hardcore fans, that's all you have.
Right.
And that's the end of that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're going to have.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem, Joe. Instead of the booking to draw more than what the fans you have your hardcore fans, so they like whatever you're doing, okay, and you kind of know what they like, and you cater to them. But you're just catering to them, and you're not drawing any new fans. You have the same audience every single week, basically, right? So then what you have to do is, because you have to understand they are your hardcore audience, they're not going to stop watching your show. You have to take some risks to get outside the box to try to draw some new fans at the expense of maybe, okay, we're not giving you guys 100% of the things that you like. Yeah. We're giving you 80. We're going to take the other 20%. We're going to try something else, all right? But they don't do that.
Okay, well,
because they just keep catering to what this fan base wants, and like they're not getting outside, even close to getting outside the bubble of that. So it's like that's what I see.
To play devil's advocate on that, what would you say about they brought in Mike Tyson? They brought Snoop Dogg in.
But it was badly done. And what does it matter who you bring in if you don't do it right? It's almost like, what does it matter how much money you have if you don't know what the you're doing?
But to me,
Dixie Carter had all this money. Yeah. She didn't know what the she was doing. If you're going to bring celebrities in, you got to cash in. Mike Tyson was bad.
Terrible.
The Shaq Shin has been bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been badly done.
Right.
So
but to me,
I don't understand your point.
At least that shows that he's trying to reach a wider audience by bringing in these
but they don't know
names.
how to they're completely missing the mark.
Oh, that Tyson thing was. I wanted to like it, and no.
And it was terrible. It's like they're trying, it's like you can't even correctly do.
So I'm supposed to give them credit because they tried. No, do it right.
Right.
You have a whole month. You got all these people that are creative geniuses in there. Jericho knows this. Arn Anderson knows this. A lot of people know their. I refuse to believe Tony's writing the whole show. Not to mention that Chris came on the show and said he writes his own.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure maybe the Young Bucks write their own. And there's certain people that I'm sure Matt Hardy, nobody's writing his.
Kenny does.
So
Kenny does.
At the end of the day, to go around, get opinions. You know what I'm saying, and do right. You got all this money, all these resources, all this, and you're bringing in people, and you're not really. Are you? Let me ask you a question. Are you excited to see Shaq and Jade Hardhill against?
No, but
they're
that's
not doing a good job, are they?
Red
Velvet Cake. Who the is she? She all of a sudden she's her friend. Okay, when did she become her friend? They have no history. So how are you supposed to get emotionally invested? Just like any TV series. And then, bro. What have they done with Darby Allin? Nothing, bro. Nothing. No. Sting. Really nothing.
Yeah. Like I said on the roundtable,
almost everything they do, they don't do a good job of getting it over.
Yeah, Sting. I said on the roundtable, I think he's actually been a little devalued by this association. It was like,
so
oh my God, it's Sting.
No, here's
so
the
let me
problem.
Ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Wait. So your devil's advocate is, at least they brought Mike Tyson and Shaq in. So
I'm just I'm supposed
to give him credit for that.
The question is hey, they don't want to get outside their their hardcore audience, why don't they try things? And I was just saying, hey, they tried things. They do try to get mainstream.
But it didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
Because it was poorly executed.
And Shaq's not going to work because it's it's not 1996.
They're trying to bring in celebrities, and it's not working.
Yeah.
And they're bringing Sting.
And that's what it looks like. Like they're just trying to bring in a celebrity.
Insignificant to the numbers because he hasn't literally done anything yet.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're trying. But the thing is, they're going to brag about beating the other team's third string show every week and talk about as a gauge of that. Hey, our numbers are great. Yeah. It's like, bro, your numbers are half of what Raw and half of what SmackDown do.
Yeah.
Well, more than half.
They're not even.
It's like,
Impact.
So that's the right.
Impact numbers Raw back in the day.
Yeah, and Raw was competing against Monday Night Football. You're competing against NXT. Yeah. So it's like there is a definite this is where the gap is in these shows, and this is what's funny because remember when I was telling you about how Meltzer was on this thing thinking that that Fox could get rid of WWE programming and bring in AEW, replace it, and it would be like the same, right? And I'm like, dude, the level, the quality of production of when they produce their packages, produce their characters, produce their segments, okay?
Down to even in the same realm.
Just down to just okay, maybe the verbiage isn't good, but the way they produce everything besides what the characters deliver is done so much more professionally looking on WWE than it does on AEW, that Fox looks at those two shows and just sees a level of professionalism in one that they would put on their programming, and the other one is not there yet.
No, that's what I see. And the other thing is, Joe, we want AEW to do good. You think we like watching this show every week, and there's nothing exciting about it,
right?
And so, but at the end of the day, we love and whatever we see good in WWE or AEW or bad, we're gonna say it. We're not just gonna hold our tongues because we're afraid people are gonna say, "Oh, they're haters," or they don't like this guy. We don't like all that. It is what it is. It's not a good show, bro.
It's funny because on the YouTube channel, I'll get some of this now. Joe, the AEW mark and stuff. And I'm like, dude, if you listen to the roundtable, you'll hear every week that, I like maybe 45% of the show. But I understand that they're, like you said, they don't get credit for trying. I understand that they're trying this. They're trying new talents. They're trying to. So I like to see that, see what they're trying, and hopefully they grow.
All right. Next is from, oh boy. Get your kazoo ready, Konnan. Guess who this next one's from.
I mean, but real quick. Plus, it's only good for us if they pop into 2 million watching the show a week or something. There's going to be more fans. There's more listening to the pod. Yeah,
bro, we wanted to do good. Just we're not going to put over bad just to go along with the crowd. Right. That's it.